having a little rant about is that you have to get very, very comfortable with being able to lose some monies. All right. If you don't understand how to lose some monies, this ain't the space for you, because losing money is part of this. It's not the aim. The aim is to make money, but money is our tool. Yeah. So when somebody turns around and says something to me, and what I'm going to say to you is this: it starts working its way into your daily life. Yeah. Your mind starts to calculate things based upon risk and reward very quickly. In my daily business, activities, when somebody says something to me, my brain just works out what the risk is and what the potential reward is. That's how I evaluate some stuff. Yeah, immediately. Someone says something to me, boy, potentially I can lose X, and I don't really know. I'm not on it. That's it. Straight away. Same thing you should do. You're going to go and buy that outfit, that pair of trainers, that jewelry, that whatever it may be. You do the math on it. You got to be like, for my potential account balance, is this within permitted risk? Yeah. Or is this, above my permitted risk? Is this too much money? Can I afford to lose this? Yeah. If I did this from when I was young, I would have made a lot more, sane decisions. Yeah. A lot of better decisions on my journey. Instead, we make emotional decisions, which some people do in trading also. They make emotional decisions. You see someone go, yeah, I'm going to get in. They go to the shop, they see the jacket's £900. They go, I need that. And they just throw them £900. They've only got £1,100 in their account. They just bought a £900 jacket. Now they're wondering how they're going to make it to the end of the month. Yeah. This is not how life is supposed to be. Yeah. You're supposed to have a balanced portfolio of life. Yeah. You're supposed to be able to turn around and say, okay, this is what I'm going to put some money in the bank here. I'm going to put some money in this bank here. I'm going to put some money in my family bank. I'm going to put some money in my friendship bank. I'm going to put some money in my health bank. You're supposed to balance it. Yeah. You have to manage your risk. And it's easier said than done when it comes to life. Sometimes we can be top heavy with certain things. I'm notoriously top heavy when it comes to work. Yeah. We can be top heavy when we come into, fitness. Some people go crazy in fitness. They're constantly in the gym. Okay. But either way, you have to be conscious about it. It's the guy that's not conscious, the guy that doesn't even know he hasn't gone for a run in 6 months, the guy that hasn't even realized that his belly is hanging over his pants. Yeah. And he's got boots in his t-shirt. Yeah. It's that guy that hasn't even realized he's a danger. He's a dangerous man. The guy that's realized and he's working on it, there's no problems. There's nothing wrong with that. You realize that your chest is hanging over your shirt and you're looking a little bit podgy and you're trying to do something about it. Because in life, let me tell you something, it's not where you are, it's where you are going. Okay? Doesn't matter where you are. There's lots of people who are very successful, money spilling out of their bank account, that you turn around tomorrow and you heard that they hung themselves. Or you heard that they took an overdose. Yeah? They're very unhappy. And they spiral into a bad place. I'm sure if you ask them, would you prefer that, where you are right now or where you're going, if you could look forward in the future, they say, well, I don't want to go there. Yeah, I don't want to hang myself. I don't want to be admitted to, the asylum or the drugs recovery unit. Yeah. In life, it's not where you are, it's where you're going. You've got no money in your pocket right now, but you're working on it. You're working on your trading, you're working on your business, you're working on your opportunities, well, then you're in a fantastic place. Yeah, because tomorrow's going to be the future. Yeah, you can't go backwards. You live in the present for the future. Yeah. So ultimately, I'm saying to you, when it comes to your trading, when it comes to your life decisions, just try and make good decisions. Doesn't matter what's happening right now. Doesn't matter yesterday's decisions you made, and you learn from that and make good decisions today. If yesterday you FOMO'd into some trade, you just hit the button when you wasn't supposed to hit the button. Okay, cool. Slap yourself, because you do need a slap. Yeah. But then realize that ultimately that was yesterday and today you're going to make better decisions. If you keep making the same mistakes every single day, I'm sorry, I can't help you. I cannot help you if I say to you to do X and you do Y, because I'm not there. I'm not going to be the person that's constantly there giving you a slap in the back of your head, telling you don't do this, telling you don't do that. I'm not going to be around. You're going to be alone. In life, unfortunately, or fortunately, however you see it, you are alone. Forget about your boys. Yeah? Go to jail, your boys will stop calling you. Yeah. When you hit a certain age, you don't even see your boys again unless something's going on. Yeah. You realize very quickly in life that you are alone. Yeah. You are alone. Even if you've got a partner, whatever it may be, you realize ultimately you are alone because the stats say that partners break down, relationships break down, people move on, things happen, and ultimately you are alone. So embrace it. Embrace the fact that you can make your own decisions for yourself. That when nobody's looking, you're going to go to the gym. When nobody's looking, you're going to eat healthy. When nobody's looking, you're going to work on your business. Not when people are looking, you're doing it for fanfare. You're doing it for, other people to say, oh, you're sick, man. That's really good. But forget that. Yeah. Learn how to independently make good decisions. If you need to put things in place, if you need to put protocols in place to help you become a better trader, do that. That might mean that every so often you get up and you take a walk away from your laptop. That might mean that after you take a good trade, you don't just jump back in another trade straight away. Whenever you take a good trade and make some money, sit on it for half hour. Because sometimes what happens with people is they take a good trade and now they think they're invincible, think they're bulletproof, think everything they say or they see is going to play out. And you know what they do? They give that money straight back. Just made £400, gave back £500. Just made £300, gave back £400. On that basis, trust me, guys, you end up a loser. You go from being a winner with a big W to becoming a loser with a big L on your forehead. So if you need to personally, you've got a certain character type where you've got an addictive personality or whatever it may be, maybe it's somebody you love biscuits. Oh my gosh, you can't stop the biscuit. You see a biscuit, you just go crazy. I'll tell you how you do. You put some policies and some protocols in place so that you don't batter no biscuits. What? You don't buy them. You go shop, you don't buy them. Or you put it in the cupboard drawer and you put it right at the top cupboard and you can't reach it. Yeah, whatever it is, you have to put those things in place because we're all different and we're all human. It means we have our own tendencies. Some of us are aggressive. We don't have it. We're driving in traffic, man cut us up. We just want to boot him in the back of his head. That's just we're humans. We have our own tendencies. But I'm saying to you, number one is to be able to identify that. Who are you? So many people out there that don't know who they are. Yeah, they're too busy trying to beat other people on Instagram, worrying about a next man's life, worrying about the guy across the street. Who are you? What tickles your fancy? What things are important to you? Yeah, doesn't matter about our next man. He wants to buy Balenciaga for £800. Good for you, buddy. If that's what turns you on, go crazy. But I'm not buying it because you bought it. I'm not interested in that. I'm going to take a holiday. I'm going to take a trip. I'm going to invest in myself, in my education. That's what I want to spend my money on. But you want to go out to that club. Good for you. Have a nice time. There's nothing in there for me. Get up dead. Music's dead. And it's the same beef. I'm not interested. But you have fun. It's very, very important that as quickly as possible, you try and work out who you are. And I'm relating that to our trading also because we all trade differently. Yeah. It's no point you turning around and saying, oh, but this guy or this educator said to do this. Screw him. He might be a lunatic. He might be losing money left, right, and center and pretending to you that he's doing something else. He might have money coming out of his office for another reason. Maybe he's got business. Maybe his daddy's rich. Who knows? Don't watch him. Learn what you can take. Take what you can take, but you have to understand who you are. So right now I'm looking at GU. I've seen some accumulation. The market's currently pushing out here and making a little bit of a manipulation out of that level. However, I'm very, very conscious that reaction is happening at 50% of the Asian session range. And if I look on a bigger picture, the market was previously consolidating in this little area in here. Yeah, it's previously accumulating, consolidating, same thing in this little area here. But I'm conscious that the market's pushed up. It's having a reaction. Something's going on at 50% of the level here. Okay. And maybe that market wants to push all the way down here and take this liquidity, but I'm not really rating GU by itself because it's just GU. Yeah, it's just a little cousin. It's not the big dog. It's not a big homie. It's just the little cousin. I need to see what big homie's doing. And that is the Dixie. Yeah, the Dixie's big homie, whether we like it, we don't like it. I put some stuff in the group speaking about the fact that have a look at what people have been talking about if you don't understand. In the group, there was a little light-skinned boy that was talking on one of the a video or an Instagram post that I put up, and he was talking about, if I'm going to play it, talking about the fact of where we are in this range. So here we go. Let's go over here. Pong, ping, pong, ping, pong. We're at the bottom of a range. The bottom of any range is a discount. Okay. A bottom of, if this was the market for cars or houses, which we know over time have been getting more expensive. Yeah, houses over time get more expensive. Why? Because we live on an island. There's a fixed amount of space on an island. Other reasons as well. Yeah, and that's why house prices over time get more expensive. Your mother or your father, wherever they live, more than likely when they bought their house, how many years ago, it was substantially cheaper than it is right now. Okay. Yeah. Substantially cheaper than it is right now. Okay, that's facts. But if you was trying to buy a house today, at least you'd want to buy at the bottom of this range. I wouldn't want to buy my house here, and at the same time I buy my house within a couple of years' time, my house is lost value, and I'm ultimately in negative equity. Yeah, you can be in negative equity. Yeah, there is a big, in this country, property is boom, everyone just buy a property. Once you buy a property, you made it in life. Guys, my industry is property. I teach you how to trade, but I've been doing property for the last 25 years. Yeah. Sounds mad me saying that. Yeah. But I've been doing property for at least the last 20, I'm not gonna say 25. Should I say 25? No, let's say 20 years. 25 is too much. Yeah. Shaved off. But at least the last 20 years. Yeah. Since I was young. And trust me, there are many people who believe that they make it in property and they buy property here. They buy property over here. Yeah. They buy property at the wrong price when the price should be here. They're buying up here. And then when the market does this, after they put new kitchen, new bathroom, everything, they don't understand why I'm making them an offer of their house of this price down here. Oh, you thought your house was worth 100K? No problem. I'll tell you what, I'll give you 60 for it today. They said, what? What do you mean? I said, bro, I'm not going to lie to you. The guy across the road, he just bought a house just like your one. Fair enough, it doesn't have the same bathroom, but he just bought his one across the road for 70K or for 65K. So why do you think your one's going to cost 100K? Tell me, explain it to me, because your bathroom ain't that nice. Your bathroom ain't 40 grand nice. They don't understand it because they bought at the wrong price. I'm using the property example because, guys, you do know that I am putting out a property course also. I accidentally made that property group in WhatsApp. I do apologize for anybody who I flung you into another group. I thought I was doing something else. But there is a property course coming out. I think it's very, very relevant to the markets. If I was man like Jigs, man like Stars, the youngsters here, I would understand the property game quickly. Because the property game, you can make a lot of you can make a lot of money in the property game without necessarily having to own a property, without necessarily having to have good credit, without necessarily having to be dealing with nonsense, having to fix a boiler, fix the stairs, do anything like that. But you have to understand the game. And ultimately, if you want to give you the quick summary of the property game of how you can win in property, why am I qualified to tell you that? Because like I said, I've been doing that game for 20 plus years. Yeah, it's about buying at the right price. It's that simple. You can have a friend, yeah, who bought his house 10 years ago. Okay, let me give you an example of what I mean by this. Just to sum it up, I have got an eye on the markets. I know people are here just for the trading. So don't get twisted. We've definitely always got an eye on the markets. Yeah, I've got my other screens open as well. You could buy a house. You could have a friend who bought his house 10 years ago. So for the people that don't have property, not on the property ladder, your friend bought a house 10 years ago for 500K. And now, let's just say 5 years ago. And now his house is actually worth, so he bought his house for 500K. Let me show you the maths of this. If you don't understand the maths. If you buy a 500K house, does anybody know how much deposit you will put down on a property like this as a residential mortgage of about 85%? Do you know what your deposit's going to be?
What, 10%?
It's a residential mortgage going to be 85%. So you're going to have to put down 15%. Can anyone do the maths real quick? How much 15% is?
What, 75k?
So you got to find between you by yourself or you and your partner, you have to find 75k for a deposit. Yeah. Understand what I've just said to you. I've said to you, you've got to go into your bank account and find 75k that's going to leave that bank account. It's going to disappear. It's going to go either by yourself as a sole individual buying that property, or between you and your partner, maybe she got bread, you got bread, and you can split it 50-50 and find 32.5k each. Not to mention stamp duty. You got to find stamp duty, which is a tax on property. Depending on it goes by the value of your property. Yeah, it's a tax. It's always changing. Yeah, I'm not too sure what stamp duty on a 500k property is at the moment. Let's
2%.
check. Let's just say 2%.
2%.
Say again.
Yeah, I think 2%.
Yeah, it changes regularly. So I always check it. Yeah. So let's just say 2%. Yeah. So you've got to find 10k. Then you got to find legal fees. Good morning there, Jay, as well. Good morning, Jigs as well. Yeah? You've got to find legal fees. Yeah. So let's just say your legal fee is going to run you about 3k. Yeah. Then you've got to find, because legal fees is included your survey that you've got to pay for, your solicitors that you've got to pay for. You pay for all these your valuation, all these things you can pay for. All right. Now let's run moving fees. You're going to need a moving van. You need all these type of things. Yeah. Moving van, etc. Blah blah blah. Let's just slap a grand on it for moving. I ain't finished. Yeah, I'm not finished. Then you got to start doing up that house. You know, you plan to do it up. Yeah, so let's just say how much money we spend on a refurb, guys. Well, how much you want to spend on a refurb? Let me see who's got what kind of taste. Yeah, how much money you spend on your refurb? Come on, let's go.
Roughly about 20 to 25.
So you're going to spend about 5% of that property's value on a big 25 on a refurb. Say you could easily do 30k. Let's just slap 30k on a refurb. Yeah, making that house how you want it to. Yeah. Then you got to maintain that house. Yeah. So when the boiler breaks and when you have a leak and all of these type of things start happening, you got to pay these. You got to pay this as well. This is on you. It's your job. Fix it. All right. And for that, so for 5 years. So this leaf down here. 5 years worth of maintenance. Yeah, 5 years worth of maintenance. What number should we put on that? 5 years worth of maintenance. I don't know. What do you think? What should be falling apart? Let's just say 5k. You know, let's just say that there was the boiler went. Let's just say that you had to, do some stuff there to tear. 5k worth of maintenance. I'm gonna run my calculator because there's still a major one that's missing. All right, I'm running my calculator. Have a look. 75,000. Let's do our numbers. Plus 10,000. Plus 3,000. Plus 1,000. Plus 30,000. Plus 5,000. It's 125 or 124k that you spent. This is real money. This isn't rubles. This isn't loan money. This isn't magic money. This isn't paper money. You've spent this money in 5 years on your home. Yes, you are walking around going, yeah, I own my own home and it's nice. It's got fluffy carpet, a new bathroom, a new kitchen. Yes, but you spent 124. Which one have we missed out? What cost have we missed out? What cost have we missed out? Does anybody know? If you don't know, let me know you don't know so we can move on. What cost have we missed out?
Don't know.
Anybody else know? Well, guys, you borrowed 425k.
Not the mortgage.
Yeah, you owe man 425k, which is a monthly mortgage. Yeah. If you want to know exactly, or not exactly, we could use the Unity calculator, but we're just going to use one right now from Rightmove. All right. I'm giving you numbers. I don't want to give you guys fluff. I want to give you numbers. I want to give you facts. Yeah. I want you to understand the Juniper. And, if you don't know, then you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. You understand? Yeah. You have to go into every trade with your eyes open, every opportunity with your eyes open. You need to understand where I want. If we go down here, have a look. Let's say the property price is not 60 million, it is 500,000. Yeah. And let's just say our deposit is going to be 15%. There's our 75k. for how many years? Let's just say 30 years. Let's say between 2 and 40 years, say 30 years. They've got an interest rate on average in their current average is 4.5%. That's your mortgage. That's your monthly payments that need to come out of your bank account. After you spent 124K. Well, not after, like, at least 124 over the 5 years, but let's just say after you spend 124K, yeah, you're still paying £2,154 per month in mortgage. Yeah, so let's just do the maths on that because we're doing it for 5 years. Yeah, 2154 times by 12, which is a year, times by 5. You've done £129,240 in mortgage repayments. Yeah? This is round it up. You've done 130K in mortgage repayments. All right? Cool. Let's do the math. So let's just add that 130 onto every. This is 5 years of costs on average. 130 plus our 5 plus our 30 plus 1 plus 3 plus 10 plus 75. You've spent in real money, rubles, yeah, not in no magic money. It's actually left your account over 5 years. You have spent 200. Let's write it down here. Let's write it in proper numbers so we can see. Where is it? Where is that number gone again? 254. Oops. Let's go again. You spent £254,000 in real money, cash. Yeah? Now, let's go to your house, because what you're saying you get your house, and your house has got equity in it. All right, cool. So let's imagine in 5 years' time, how much would you say your house is going up by? How much do you think your house is? Don't get twisted. If you've been paying off on your house, your mortgage, your 475, more than likely has come down if you've got a repayment mortgage. If you don't have a repayment mortgage and you've got an interest-only mortgage, that number has not changed. Let me make that very clear to you. If you tell us that you've got an interest-only mortgage, that number has not changed. Maybe this 2,154 will be a little bit less, maybe 2,000, maybe 1,900. But that mortgage amount you owe, 475, has not moved. If you pay that mortgage, you pay a little bit more in your monthly payments, and it chips away at that debt. Yeah. So let's say, for argument's sake, in 5 years' time, after spending 130K on mortgage, because that's going to be made up of interest payments and chipping away, maybe your 475K, your 425K loan, maybe in 5 years' time, it's looking like, I don't know, let's just say 390. Yeah, that means you chipped away, which is completely mad, to be fair. Let me think. I can do the calculation. That's kind of over 25. That's 30, 35K each. So this is cool. Let's say 390. You've got 390K mortgage left. Okay. And your property now has gone up in value, maybe. So let's imagine that this property has gone up in value, let's say 10%. In 5 years' time, it's gone up a little 10%. They try to say that property prices double every 7 to 10 years. That's flat. That depends on where you are on the cycle, yeah? Because the cycle of property does like this, all right? So just like anything, it's just like the charts. If you bought down here, well, fantastic. You might actually experience some great growth. But what if you bought here? Yeah? Part of that 5 years or seven years was you going down in value. And then by the time you get to your 7 years, probably you might be a little bit higher than where you were, but you're not necessarily going to double in price. Yeah, it's the fact that they don't tell you, and then because you don't understand the markets, people don't understand cycles. They just go, my house price is probably going to double. So if I buy it for 300, the next year it's going to be 700. Not necessarily, buddy. All right. So you've got a house that's worth 300, or you've got 390K mortgage, but your house is now worth 550. Come on, let's even give you the benefit of the doubt. 600. Your house is now worth 600K. 600. Now let's do the maths. Let's do the maths on it. All right. 600K minus your mortgage still left 390K minus the £254,000 that you spent on your house. Have you made any money? Have you made any money?
Sorry, I wasn't listening to the four. Could you break that down again for me?
Okay, let's break it down real quick. Okay, so the breakdown is this: you went to buy a house for 500K. You got an 85% mortgage, residential mortgage, meaning that you borrowed 425K.
Yeah.
You put down 75K in the deposit.
Yeah.
You put down 10K in stamp duty.
Yeah.
You put 3K down in legals.
Yeah.
You put 1K in your moving van and etc. etc. etc.
Yeah.
You put 5K over 5 years in maintenance, fixing the yard and doing whatever. Yeah, things have been breaking, roof's been leaking, boiler stopped working. Yeah. And you have spent 130K, yeah, in monthly repayments in your mortgage over 5 years, because your mortgage, as per our calculator given by Rightmove, for a 500K property, 75K deposit over 30 years with a 4.5% interest rates, is about 2,154. 2,154 times by 12 gives you a number, and then times that by 5 years gives you about 129,000. I rounded it to 130K. All right. So when you get all of these numbers, apart from obviously the house price, you add up these numbers, you have spent £254,000 in 5 years on your home. Yeah, of real money. Okay, and your house has gone up 100K, from 100K to 600K now in 5 years. When you go and get it valued, it's gone up to 600K. So I was just doing the math on it. I'm saying now you sell that house because you think you're an entrepreneur extraordinaire. You sell that house for 600K, you're saying, well, my house is gone up by 100K and I only owe 390. So you minus the 390 you owe. Yeah. And then if you minus the money that you've actually spent over 5 years, the question I ask is, have you actually made any money?
Not really, no.
You've actually lost 44 grand. Now, yes, there is some nuances. There is some caveats. You have had somewhere to live for 5 years. Yeah, which has been nice and comfy. Yeah, everyone needs somewhere to live. Yeah. But I'm just going to ask a simple question like this. I'm going to flip the script. Let's imagine a world whereby buying a house isn't the one thing that the powers that be sell to you is achieving something in your life. Let me tell you what, did anybody know why the powers that be push home ownership in this country so hard?
Yeah, because you're paying interest rates and things like that. So you're forever tied to a mortgage. Interest rates rise. So you're always going to be paying in to the system.
Exactly. It's a junicle. It's like me. I'm the person that I sell ice lollies, and since you're a child, just sell it to you that buying ice lollies is the best thing you could do in your life.
It's a liability unless you're doing it in the right way.
That's right. So I'm glad you said that, because that's what I'm going to get to. Yeah. Buying a house, it's like me pushing it. You got to buy a house, you made it like you got that virtue. I know you've got a virtue. Maybe you're home or her. Well, he uses things like he runs the world because he bought himself, he's on the holy ladder. He's like, yeah, blah, 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 that's my own home. You don't own jack fruit, bro. Your house is worth 500K. You paid 15%. If you really want to get technical, the first is your house, brother. You just gave them 75K to pretend that you own the house. So let's keep it true. And more importantly, when you talk about, that's a good investment, give them the maths, rude boy. I just gave you the maths. Yeah, give them the wisdom. The wisdom is that in 5 years' time, you would have made a net loss of 44 grand buying this house. Now, I'm not trying to say you don't need somewhere to live, but let's imagine a different culture guy. Yeah, Jigs, your people then. Yeah? The Indian man. What about if the Indian man stays in his family home for 5 years?
They save that money, they save a hell of money, and then they go and practically buy a house outright.
Say it again, because if they buy a house outright, can you see this number here? 130 grand. They don't spend that. They stack their P. They don't remember. This is predominantly made up of interest. You're not really chipping away. They spent 130 grand. Your 425 grand didn't go down by 130 grand. It only went down in this example by about 35 grand, which might be wrong, right? Might be wrong. Who knows? But either way, it's made up of interest. What happens if you stay your ass in your family home and you all sit down and get a plan? What happens if you take 254K over 5 years and learn how to trade and slap that in the market? What happens if you do that? What happens if you understand the game and for argument's sake you say, I don't want to pay this monthly mortgage. I don't want to pay this maintenance. I don't want to pay moving in, this stamp duty, legal. I don't want to pay any of this. I want to make somebody else pay them and still make money in profit. Well, that changes the game. Yeah? But buying a residential home for yourself is not an investment. I've just shown you why it's not an investment. Right? It's not an asset. They say it's an asset because you can, yes, I suppose when you've got 390K mortgage and a house that's worth 600K, you can borrow money against it. Yes, you can. You can borrow money because you owe 390K for something that's worth 600K. But I'm talking about an asset is something that puts money into your pocket. Let me say that one more time. An asset is something that puts money into your pocket. That's why buying a vehicle, a brand new shiny, should show you what I'm getting next. Yeah. That's why when I go and buy this, and every single month, this Aston Martin is taking money out of my pocket. Yeah. That's not going to be an asset. It's a liability. It's taking money off me, not to mention petrol and insurance and blah, 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 blah.
As a company expense and
well, if it's a company expense, yes. You know, if you're actually using it for business because you are going to buy a van and that van travels you from here to there, well, it's an asset then. It's an asset. We're not talking about how to reduce its costs. We're saying whether it's an asset or a liability. So whether or not you've got a liability, but you've reduced the amount of costs you've got to pay, it's still a liability. It still takes money off you. If you buy a van because you need a van to make you money, that's different. That becomes an asset in your business. But the point I'm making to you, the conversation I've just had with you is the property conversation. And the property conversation is related to the markets because so my bigger point was this. Here's my point. This person bought their house 5 years ago. And I come along today and I go and buy their 600K house, not for 500K when they bought 5 years ago. It's a 600K is value, but I go and buy that house for 10% below the market value, or let's just say 15% below the market value, which is, instead of it costing 600K, it costs 510K. Yeah? It costs 510K instead of 600. That means from day one, I've got 90 grand in equity in my pocket. From day one. Nothing. I have bought the house all broke down, dilapidated, looking whatever man, but I bought it for the right price. I bought either on the right place of this curve, or I made this person a discounted offer. Why? Because in the markets, we always want to buy when things are cheap. So man turned around and said to me, so I said 600. I said, yeah. Not with the kitchen looking like that, boy, and this and that. And furthermore, listen, let me tell you something. I'm going to come in with cash. I'm going to, and I get this house for 510K on day one. If I was to sell this house on the market, I could go and sell this house on the market cheap. Yeah, this is how my business works. I just went and secured this house for 15% below the market value, meaning I had 90K off this deal. It's a 600K house all day. I bought this house from somebody for 510, and then I can go and sell this house to somebody else for 5 or 10% below the market. So let's imagine I tell and I say, okay, mate, it's 600K house, but you can have it all day long for 550 or 555. All day long. That person's just, he knows it's a 600K house. I'm just giving him 45K discount off that house. But I bought it for 90K 2 days ago. So I make 45K in that transaction by buying a house that was cheap, yeah, and then selling it to him at a discount, but not the same discount that I got, and pocketing the difference. Yes, there are costs and fees and there are ways you can mitigate it and reduce it, but that makes a shitload more sense than me buying a house for 5 years and living in it and thinking to myself it's an asset. Now, if you buy a house, I'm not trying to say property can't be an asset. It can be, but you've got to eliminate some of these costs. And the main one is going to be that mortgage. You can make somebody else pay this 130 grand. If you make somebody else pay this 130 grand, then maybe this is now, it becomes an asset. Yeah, because you might get enough money to pay that £2,154 every single month. You might do. You might be able to charge someone 2.5K a month to live in that house and make a little £350 a month. But the real money that you make is the fact that you've got that money in equity now over 5 years, because your mortgage has gone down to 390 and you haven't had to pay 130K out. Yeah. And you can either pull money out of that house or you can sell it and benefit from the capital appreciation. And that's the property game. But don't get confused when everyone's trying to push you or you're feeling, because let me tell you something as well. Let me tell you what the biggest kicker is. You see, when you spent £254,000 on your home, the guy that lives next door to you, he lives next door to you. What am I going to say? Does anybody know I want to finish my sentence? What I'm going to say about the guy who lives next door to you?
Well, he don't even own his yard. He bought it years ago or something.
He don't even own the yard. He rents. He rents that yard. He lives next door to you. But furthermore, his yard's even better looking than yours. Yeah? So he's just been paying. Yeah, maybe he might have been paying 2.5. But on month one, he's paid 2.5K to live in the house that you, on month one, if you want the same quality house as him, you've had to do the refurb, you've had to put the stamp duty out, 75K, you've had to pay all this. You've done 75K, 85K, 88K, 89K, plus 30K refurb. You've done 118K. On month one, you've done 118K to live in the same quality house as him. And he has spent 2.5K, plus maybe a deposit or whatever it is. I don't know what they, on month one. And month two, he's done 5K and you've done 118 plus your 2K mortgage. You're at 120. On month three, he's done 7.5K. So he's still got that money sitting in his bank for him to make some moves, Rupert. For him to make some investments, for him to make some trades, for him to invest in his business, for him to live some life, go some travel. Yeah, eat some good food. He's still got that bread in his account. It's called working capital. He's still got some money that he can take some shots where you and your missus, month two, you're 120K in a hole. It's the same principle with cars. Once upon a time, I thought the thing was to go and buy cars outright in cash. Why? Because I was financially stupid. My financial literacy was low. So therefore, when I went and bought a car, I distinctly remember me going and slapping down, you might as well say 40K in cash for a BMW. Nah, blood, let's not be silly, right? Let me just follow that. All right, cash, let me get that. 40K. When I drive out of the showroom, the guy who's sitting at the traffic lights with me, he's got his on HP or lease or whatever it may be. And on that day one, bear in mind he's got the better one than me. Yeah? No, I said I ain't got the better one than me.
As soon as you drive out.
Yeah. He ain't got the better one than me. I'm just gonna clear that up. He ain't got the better one than me. Yeah, I bought the best one. Yeah. I'm saying, yeah. As soon as we drive out that traffic and we're sitting at the traffic lights, he's spent I don't know, £800 a month. He's paid, or maybe he put his deposit down. I'll tell you, regardless, he's got to put down a deposit. Maybe put down 1K deposit, and now he hasn't even spent the £800 yet. Whoops, £800 even come out yet. He spent 1K on the same car that I've got, the lights, and I spent 40K. At the same time, that same 5 minutes I've driven out the showroom feeling like I'm the man. So surely this guy is 1K. He's got 39K in his account to go and invest in the markets, to go and do something else. Surely he has. Surely he's in a better position than I, because I only had 50K in my account. But it doesn't matter what I had in my account. It doesn't matter. I've taken away from it to achieve the exact same thing as this guy over here has achieved. And the lack of financial literacy has our people doing this all day long, has our people not understanding what good debt is, yeah? And not understanding what bad debt is, not understanding how to leverage our capital, how to invest, just doing what we was told to do, which was go, work hard, buy a house, at some point retire, and then you can go back home and you've made it in life and you can die. You can die of some illness that we're going to give you because we're going to give you mad sugar, meat that isn't meat. We're going to give you something. And by the time you get to an age to enjoy your money, you're going to die of diabetes or C or something like that because we ultimately been poisoning you for your whole life because we didn't teach you how to eat. I'm just sorry if I'm preaching, but I'm saying to you, that's the game. That is, and furthermore, you didn't even understand how to organize your estate. So that house that you bought here, yeah, this is the kicker. Yeah, sorry, this is how I'm definitely going to end it. This is the kicker. The house that you bought here, that you bought for 500K, it's worth 600K in 5 years. I don't know, 5 or 10 years after that, or 20 years after that, you die. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Maybe you even leave this house mortgage free. Maybe you paid off this whole 390 over your time before you did. Yeah. But then because you didn't understand how to organize your estate,
put it in your name.
yeah. Because you don't know how to organize your estate, when it comes to
Handing it down to your kids.
yeah, one second, I'm going blank because I'm just having a blank moment. When it goes to probate, oh my God, I can't believe it. When it's to probate, which is essentially the solicitors trying to work out your estate and your funds between your siblings, because they've got to split that money because now you had 2 kids. Yeah. And maybe them 2 kids, they don't even talk. Yeah. You know how it gets when people dead, family issues. You've all been to the funerals where everyone's having an argument and whatnot. Yeah. And heard the stories. So now you've got to split this 600K asset between your 2 kids. It's not 300K each. Oh no. Because there's more tax to pay now, even though you've been paying tax. That's crazy. Does anybody know what tax you're going to have to pay?
Inheritance tax.
That's one of them.
If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, you've got inheritance tax. You've got capital gains tax. You've got the probate solicitor money that you've got to pay the solicitor to work out who's having who and how much percentage was left, how much blah, 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 blah. Your 2 kids aren't left with jack squat.
Roughly 40%.
Yeah. Yeah. They take 40% plus the capital gains tax, plus the legal fees, plus your funeral costs. Yeah. plus blah, 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 out of the money, because that's where it's all coming out of. People are thinking to themselves, yeah, we'll get it back from this. When all said and done, I don't know, maybe, Jermaine and Sasha, maybe they get, I don't know, a couple 100K, 100 and something K each. I mean, if it's not a scam, it's a drug. Yeah. What I'm saying to you, without the knowledge, you're going to 100%, you, your family members, your friends are 100% going to get got by this system. I'm just letting you know. I'm sorry. I'm sorry if you believe that somehow it's going to be different. Somehow, blah, blah, blah. You are going to get got by this. If you don't have the knowledge to sit down, have a conversation, get your education, put things in place beforehand, safeguard yourself, understand the game, understand, what the market is doing, understand when a good time to buy is and when a bad time to buy is. Understand, should you buy this house, should you not buy this house? You have to have a plan. You know the saying, yeah? If you fail to plan, you plan on failing, boy. Yeah, and this is what I want for us. And this is why, when we finally launch on a platform, yeah, you're going to be able to go and get your knowledge up immediately, yeah, because you're interested immediately in, how to get your estate in place, how to plan your affairs. Maybe you send your mom, you say, Mom, come and join the platform, so she can come in here and she can say that she's interested in estate planning over here, okay? And then she can go in here in estate planning and she can go through the process to make sure that she's got all of her affairs in order. At the moment, it's only showing 3. It will show at least 10 to 15. Yeah, protecting your family's future. She'll go through and go and be able to go to the company to help to do that. She can ensure adequate coverage that when she passes, no one ain't worried about how to pay for the coffin. Yeah. She can keep digital and physical copies of everything to have that all in place. Furthermore, Mumsy, because she's now interested in this, can go and do education, yeah, based upon estate planning, yeah, and you can go through the education of being able to learn everything about estate planning, okay. Furthermore, after she's done her education, just to make sure she knows what she's talking about, she can go and do some exams on her estate planning, yeah, digital estate exam. Yeah, let's see this on a beginner's level. I'm gonna guess that even on a beginner's level, some of you probably won't even know none of these questions, none of these answers. Yeah? What is intestacy? Maybe man don't know. Yeah? Let's see. Oh, sorry, this exam was already in progress. Let's go and do the next module. Yeah? You can see the AI is generating all the questions. Yeah, she can come here and she can actually get her knowledge up and be able to understand exactly what she needs to do. So by the time she's come out of uni, there ain't nothing, nobody can't tell her that she doesn't know. And furthermore, she would have already gone through the process, gone through the steps, yeah, of making sure that she is ready and her estate management is planned. This is going to be very, very, very powerful for the community. Yeah, and powerful for people that want, to go through their personal development. You can see that the site is saying that there is a live going on. It is. I'm on right now, right? So that's what it's letting us know about. And you can see, look, what is the primary purpose of estate planning, guys? Does anybody know? Should we ask? Should we let it read it out loud?
What is the primary purpose of estate planning? The options are A, to manage assets during a person's lifetime. B, to avoid paying taxes. C, to ensure assets are distributed according to one's wishes after death. D, to create a business plan.
Does anybody know? Does anybody know the answer to this one? Anybody think they know the answer to this one? A, B, C, or D?
I'd be guessing.
Go guess then, let's go. But the point I'm making to you guys is that, you're going to be able to hear and get your knowledge up differently in areas that you're interested in. Yeah, and everybody's interested in, to the point where when you get it correct, and you go through and you do your modules, you actually get a certificate to know that you've passed your module that you can print out, etc., etc., etc. It's gonna be show up. Yeah, show up. Yeah, and let you do whatever you need to go and do, and learn, get your education up. Like, you guys are gonna pass the trading exam because you man are sharp and you man have been doing the education. But I'm showing you guys there's so many other spaces that you need to get your powers up, because just like I showed you about the property game, what they be teaching you is in their interest. It's not in necessarily your interest. Yeah, it's in their interest. Okay. And that's cool because it's a game. Everyone's trying to get it. That's cool. I don't want the man who's trying to hustle me, because everyone's on their hustle. But you can be wise enough to know the hustle and be like, yeah, don't be silly, bro. Yeah. You can't be mad about the game. The game's the game. Yeah. You got to be mad that you just don't know the rules and you don't know how to play. Yeah. So everybody in uni, you're going to know how to play. We're going to know how to play this trading game. You're going to know how the brokers are making money. You're going to know what you're looking for from a good broker. You're going to know how the markets are taking a piss. You're going to know when to get in, when not to get in, what you're looking for. Right now, I'm calm. I'm having this whole conversation about property because there is nothing telling me to get into any trade at the moment. Not one thing. I've got my alerts in. I'm not in no trade. I'm not missing trades whilst I talk to you guys about property. There's nothing. It's your brethren. I said, yeah, I'm in at the moment. I'm in. Sorry. Why? Why are you in? Yeah, because basically they said gold, wiped out 3 trillion. So what goes down must go up. That's what your brethren that don't know what they're talking about is telling me.
That's what I wanted to discuss today. Like, I know it was due to have a dip, but a dip like that, how much did it actually dip? Because that looked like a candle from hell.
Bro, I predicted this. I said it has to retrace. I said, if I can even, let me see if I can go backwards and put the markup that was on here before. I don't know if it saves it like that. No, it's not saving like that. The markup said this. The markup said, who would bet against gold? This gold has been going into space. However, yeah, I said, however, I'm glad I think I recorded this session. So for people who want to listen back to this session and want to tell certain people about the property game, want to tell people about the maths of it, it has been recorded out. You missed us going in on the property space, breaking, comparing the property space to what's happening in the markets and knowing when to buy, and the big lie that is told to most people who are uneducated in regards to property. And the joke is, I even see people who believe they're clever in podcasts talking about property in a manner which doesn't give the full picture. Yeah, it just gives a picture from a nostalgia and perspective. And as well, let me put things into perspective. The world has changed. This is what people, you know what I'm saying? It's like you've got to live in the present. Yeah, you got to live in your current environment. You can't live how you live in the UK if you move to the jungle, if you move to Nige. You can't take long strolls at night as you and your missus if you lived in certain areas whereby long strolls at night mean that your chances of getting robbed or murdered are significant. You have to move accordingly. And currently in this current world, things have changed right now. If you're trying to buy property right now, compared to when your parents may have bought property, it's a completely different landscape. Because once upon a time, your parents could afford a house based upon 2 or 3 years earnings. Yeah, maybe they made 20K a year, and maybe the house that they wanted to buy was 60 grand. Yeah, but right now the house that you want to buy is 600 grand, and you only make 40K a year or 50K a year. So it's going to take you 12 years of your earnings. That means that you was making your earnings and not buying a single thing apart from paying your mortgage to ever own that yacht. That the landscape's changed, yo. So you could turn and be out here still saying, yeah, we could just buy some property because that's the best investment you can make. I just did the maths. The maths on that 5-year property that you own costs you 34K in a home. Yeah, after spending over £254,000 out of your own pocket. That's the maths of it. So I'm saying to you right now, it's the same with everything. We're looking at this gold, and I said to you about gold, I said, look, I said, gold is hot. It was up here. It's only 2 days ago. It was up here. I said, gold is hot. I said, who would bet against it? However, I said, we've got to look at it on the basis that gold can make a retracement. And remember, if you remember, if I lie, I fly, we pulled out some certain areas of points of interest. One would be the impulse. From here to here, 50% retracement of that impulse is sitting approximately here. Yeah, that's a point of interest. Doesn't mean the market's going to touch that little line and turn around. Well, no. Yeah, not unless I'm I'm a seer. Yeah, or somebody who can predict the future. Yeah, it's a point of interest. Ultimately, we know the market's been cooking so hot. The bottom of the range is where we are kind of right now, this impulse, but the range of where the market was trading once upon a time, I'm talking about just from December, is all the way down here. Okay? We was looking at this market and we understand the factors, yeah? And right now, I know we've got Alan on the course, going to be fantastic. Furthermore, let me show you something. Look, have a look. Look at Unity Strategy. We can all see where we would have gotten. If anyone wants to draw on my screen, show me with a line of where you may have gotten into this trade. Obviously, I'm not going to, we know there was a big candle appeared from nowhere, but just based upon this, the rough area, if everything was fantastic, and this is me looking on an hour time frame, by the way, of where we would have, bear in mind, I'm going to drop the time frame, there's another entry, but I'm going to draw my screen of where you may have gotten into this trade. Come on, let's go. If you want to, if you can do, I know Darren loves drawing on my screen. Yeah.
I can't even find the pen thing. But you
Okay,
can see
say
the
no more.
tapping.
Say no more. But we can see in here, boom, 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 boom. We can see this market came back up into this level. Yeah. I don't know if it closed down below, but either way, around this area here, we could have said was an entry where the market had a change of character and it corrected and continued. And I'm showing you, and I'm not know for facts, I haven't checked, but I'm guessing that there's a even better entry. Let's drop our time frame down to a 15-minute time frame. It's not that clean. Let's go half an hour, not that clean. Let's go 5 minutes, have a look. Now, the problem I had over here was that the market didn't come and take this previous high. So therefore, there's a possibility that somebody, didn't catch that entry. Yeah, because the market didn't take the liquidity over here. Let's have a look. Yeah. However, what we do know is on a larger time frame, the market did start going, and that market plummeted. Yeah, that was the 3 trillion deleted out of gold, taking liquidity lows from, if we look on daily lows for argument's sake, from, previous day low. Yeah, it took the previous day lows, took other lows before, went nuts. Yeah, but it was just the speed of which. But remember, don't buy into all of the fanfare and all the. This is just a little retracement on the grand scheme of things. On the grand scheme of things, this is a little retracement. Don't get too nuts with it. The market had to come down within a range. It's made a retracement. In the grand scheme of things, bro, this is a little retracement. Like I said, we haven't even got to 50% of the impulse. Don't get twisted like this market can't come and tap down to this 50% or anywhere else. And before you know it, next week we're turning around and saying gold's at 6,000 or 5,700. Don't get twisted. It's definitely possible. So answer to your question there, Jay, is look, who would bet against gold? I'm not going to get excited about this. Because look, even from a structural perspective, if we look cross-eyed or I put the line chart in, here's swing structure. Yeah, we've seen some minor breaks, yeah, but, is this market going to break below here and then correct and then continue? And then that's different. Now I'm starting thinking to myself, I want to get down to the bottom of these ranges. If I go to my daily time from here, look, we only took that big push yesterday, only took the day before's lows. Yeah? But it only took the day before's lows, that little wick energy from wherever it was from yesterday. Yeah, this is today's candle. Let me refresh this chart. Make sure everything is fresh. I'm not chatting worse. Yeah. Okay. So, I wouldn't buy into the hysteria of all the screenshots that, like the one I put in the group. Like all of a sudden you should start throwing your gold chains out the window. Yeah. We know that market's moving waves, and this is part of that wave of the market retracing. If anything, right now, as part of this ugly little range that I've drawn here, this trend between these two yellow lines, make it pink between these two pink lines. If anything, maybe it goes back in an area whereby people are going to start buying again. Maybe because it's in of that range, we're cheap in the range. Maybe. I don't know. This is a point of interest right here. I want to see what the market does below this level. So straight away, I can pop an alert down here, which is also, I can see by that white line, a previous daily low, all the way going over here from this indecision, because there's actually another daily low over here. Okay. I'm going to watch and see what these markets do, because I understand that on the grand scheme of things, this market hasn't really broken any big 4-hour structure, or big structure in here. It's just made a retracement. Here is 50%. This line over here, maybe I'll make it different. I'll make it solid. I'll fade it out a little bit. Yeah, that there is 50% of the bigger impulse that we haven't even got down to as yet. And it's not impossible for that market to come down there, 50%, decide it wants to turn around, or make a bigger retracement, push back down into previous battlefields. Not impossible. But personally, I would trade what I see, and I wouldn't get too, just carried away with the fanfare that now this market is going to come down to help. This is just a retreat. The market was going nuts. Look at it. Look at this on the weekly. Have a look. On a weekly time frame, we haven't even got a red candle yet, buddy. For the last 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, month, we've just been bullish. Yeah? But we can see reasons why the market might want to retrace. We can see big imbalances in here. We can see certain issues. And that is just part of the cycle of the market. If we put this as a line chart like this, well, the impulse is going to be from down here, wherever that wick is. Let me see where that wick is. Yeah, from about down here to up here on that previous battlefield is 50%. So maybe that market decides it wants to, slowly get down to this previous battlefield. Maybe. Yeah, so these would be my points of interest. It would be that previous battlefield. Oops. Would be that previous battlefield is a point of interest. Let's make it like that. Let's make it yellow. Over here, that 50% would be a point of interest for me. 50% of that smaller impulse. Like go to our daily time frame. And obviously right now, if there might be some sort of liquidity taken, we might see this market again, gold, push back up into these type of levels, only to decide it wants to keep coming down here. So answer to your question, don't get carried away with it. Stay your trading strategy. Understand that market's moving waves. That gold was in high altitude, man. It was hard to breathe up there. It needed to get down to a place whereby it could breathe a little easier. Yeah, it needed to get down to a place where it could breathe a little easier. Does that mean people don't believe in gold anymore? All of a sudden, all the world's concerns have just dissipated overnight? Maybe Al's going to tell us, but I don't think so.
No, you're right. Grand Rising North. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. I put something in the group. I think market is pricing in the new Fed chair, which will probably be announced today. A young guy called Kevin Walsh will probably be the next Fed chair. So the market is pricing in because he's a bit hawkish. Yeah. Meaning that he's quite aggressive. Yeah, on the monetary pricing, the US monetary situation. Sell off. All risky assets are being sold off, as you can see. Bitcoin, the indices, and so on and so forth. What started that off was the concern that Microsoft was selling was basically putting too much money in AI. They did make profits, good profits, but they are concerned that they're over leveraging. Yeah. And that's why the market started to sell off yesterday. I believe yesterday the US 100 and NASDAQ was 500 down at one point, actually 700 down. It did recover by the end of the day because obviously Apple earnings after 9 p.m. strong profits from Apple, especially with these sales of the iPhone 17. So the market ebbs and flows, as you know. But listen, they're pricing in Kevin Walsh being the Fed chair. Trump said he's going to announce it today, this morning, US time. That is why the market is doing what it's doing. I agree with Jay about gold. Gold is a safe haven. Yen is a safe haven. The Swiss franc is a safe haven. There's been problems going on with the yen. As I said yesterday, there is elections from February the 6th for the new prime minister who's only had the job not so long, a few months, basically trying to, get a greater authority. But their monetary policy is up in the air at the present moment. So that's why the yen has been weak. And then Besant saying he's not going to rescue the yen. So the yen was in free fall again yesterday. So a lot of geopolitics going on and a lot of monetary policy up in the air. But yeah, today the market's pricing in Kevin Walsh being announced as a new chair, and he will start that job if it's announced today in May when his incumbent finishes. That is Chair Powell. Any questions, anybody?
That's a good synopsis of what's going on, man. I definitely think, obviously, if you're able to catch the sell, you caught the sell in gold, well done. But I'm not just buying into it immediately. Like gold's going to be falling off a cliff. I'm going to be waiting to see what happens when this liquidity is taken right now. So if I was looking at the markets right now, guys, place some alerts below Asian session low, which is a daily low, and the other low that's there. Place your alerts there. When that starts to ring off, look for change of character and, just trade what you see. Yeah, but we're not the masses. Yeah, we're not just the random guys that say, oh, gold is more, and getting all excited about it. Yeah, I told you. Okay, yeah, definitely. This market was going to turn around and we could see how we would have maybe caught this. This happened quite quickly. So when I was saying about the hour time frame, I was saying, yeah, we can see the pattern there now in hindsight. But at the time, on a 1 hour time frame, look, this kind of closes all the way down here. Yeah. The only thing we could have done is after this market comes back up and taps into a previous battlefield, have a look. When that market retraced back up and came back into a previous battlefield, well, that's a point of interest. And maybe, let's have a look here. Maybe we could have caught, I'm just checking. Is that on the 3 minute? Have a look at our strategy. Can we see? Does anybody see how we would have gotten in here? It's easy to me. Seen the manipulation right up into our previous battlefield after taking liquidity from New York session. We see this is in Asia, yeah, time. But either way, the market indicated, corrected, and continued. And maybe we might have been able to get into a lovely trade that looks something like this. Aggressively looking something like that above this last high, like that. Or safely would have been above the swing high, but let's just go aggressively. That is an easy trade when the market came back and tapped into a previous level. Obviously, it's what time is that? 12 o'clock at night. Yeah, but from a strategy perspective, if we was there sitting there trading and we saw that happen, that is an easy trade that at the moment looks like a 1 to 15. Yeah, based upon Unity strategy. Yeah, obviously gold's doing what it needs to do. And one thing that's quite interesting there, Al, and you can maybe touch on and what maybe we'll start looking at is, I did like what the guy said, which is the truth. When I did the maths and digested what he said, is UJ is probably one of the most important currencies at the moment.
Yeah. UJ is one of the most important currencies. Listen, if the yen falls, we all fall. Yeah. And that is a fact. I think I've mentioned this before, Jay. The Japanese own the most US treasuries out of any country. Yeah. I think that's 1.1 trillion of US treasuries. Yeah. So the Japanese economy is very important. As I said, there's the big four, yeah, central banks. You've got the Fed, you've got the Bank of England, you've got the BOJ, and you've got the ECB. These are the four biggest monetary policy, yeah, right? These four dictate monetary policy around the world. So the BOJ is very important. So you got to keep an eye on their monetary policy. You got to keep an eye on the election. It's very important. It does affect the way of things around the world economically. So yes, Jay, I absolutely 100% behind that comment. The UJ is a very important, pair, and the Japanese yen is, again, as I said, I reiterate, it's a safe haven currency, like the franc and gold. Yeah, that's where people go to when there's issues in the world. Yeah. Now, if there is a dent in that armor, there's a problem. So yeah, follow the Japanese, the Bank of Japan, because it's important to your trading experience.
I think we're going to definitely start paying more attention to UJ because, it's the US dollar, the Japanese yen going head to head. Look, we've seen this huge bearish push all the way down here. We can see all these concerns in UJ to come back up here and close this imbalance. We can see there's significant liquidity being taken from below this level. Okay, and we can see, have a look at the impulse from down here to up here. It's an impulse. We're currently sitting exactly 50% of that impulse. Yeah, and maybe now what we're going to see is that market trying to push up into these directions. Obviously, it's going to be a slight different nuance in regards to, we have to check and look back at whether or not where the market likes to take liquidity from. Because remember, this is the USD and the Japanese yen pair. So Japanese are up at a certain time. So we have to see how the market reacts to different sessions. But ultimately, we can see a big concern of this market pushing back up there. For that to push up back up in there, US dollars need to gain some strength, or the Japanese yen is going to have to lose some strength relative to the US dollar. Okay. We saw the market leak out of it early, come back down here, we're pushing up. Like I said to you, there's lots of reasons why this market might want to push up. But if you're going to do any type of trade, any type of market you haven't traded before, look back historically and see where our strategy plays. Yeah, it might not be Asian session it likes to take. It might be that it likes to take New York session. It might be that it likes to take London session. But look to see how that particular market reacts to liquidity. Because remember, it's just a market. Just think about it like this: like different markets are open at different times. Yes, they're all open when US dollars open. Yeah, New York's open. Yes, they're all open when London's open. But sometimes you might see some overnight activity because of the type of pair it is for Asia session, etc., etc. Okay, but yeah, all good, guys. All good. Yeah, all good. Every single session, guys, I'm going to be pushing and marketing the platform just to get you man hype and to get some great ideas. I got some great ideas from Darren yesterday about the platform that I'm telling you at the moment is looking crazy. So hopefully by the end of next week, you guys will be in there creating your accounts and having a whale of a time in there. But this platform is going to be a very, very good look. I actually showed the guys the whole platform and took them through it one day, Alan, when you weren't on. I don't know if you've got meetings or whatnot, but basically I'm going to have you guys testing it. So I was taking them through the platform so far. How are you looking for time? Al?
Yeah, I'm good. I don't have no meetings. I'm here, bro. No problem.
Right. Well, I was taking them through it. They've seen it a few times and they're probably getting annoyed by how many times they've seen it. But ultimately, you guys are going to be here and something that you right? No. Yeah, you're going to be here, and this is the Unity platform. It's a great registration process, and there's a great understanding. So basically, I took them through the whole process so you guys have an understanding of this platform. And from registration, the first thing that happens in registration is you will get the whole point of the platform there, Alan. The reason why I'm telling you, because there's going to be lots of opportunities I'm going to be presenting with you guys, from investment opportunities to obviously just being through the testing phase, etc., is that you create an empowerment plan. Okay, so as soon as you come into to Unity and you register, if I was to log out of here for argument's sake, let's log out. As soon as you log out, then you will have it, as soon as you are going to create an account, you will go through the process. Should I do it right now? Let's do it right now. Why not? I will use an email address that is unused, hopefully. And you will have to create an empowerment plan. And one empowerment plan is this. I have identified a little while ago that, there is information overload. Everybody knows that they have to, sort out their estate. Everybody knows that they have to, do this and do that and blah, 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 and blah, blah, blah. And actually nothing actually gets done. So what happens is the empowerment plan allows people to decide what it is that they're into. Okay, yeah, I'm just trying to find an email address. Sorry, what it is that they're into, and create a plan around that. So it's not just trading there. You're going to be able to talk to any of your people then and be like, listen, have you sorted out your estate, or you're into nutrition, or you're into travel, or you're into finance, or whatever it may be, and go and register with Unity and be able to make a plan. And the plan makes sure that you've got all the things in place. I'll show you. So I'm just trying to find an email address I haven't used. In fact, I don't even need to go that way. We could do it all here. You go through this process, you put your first name down. So I'll say my name is Richard Smith. You can see all the validations. What are we going there? Sorry, it's Richard, and put a password in. Let's put in a password and just create our account. Account created, check your email. Let me check my email. See if I've got my link to verify myself. I have got my link to verify myself. I'm clicking the link on my phone. It says email verified, complete the setup. Great. Let's go to completing my setup. Oh God, I got to put this back in here because I've got that on my phone. 1 second. I'm just showing because I want you guys to see the process. It should take me, here we go. So we go through my whole setup. Yeah, so my last name is Richard Smith. And my preferred Unity name I wanted to be is Richard, and my date of birth, because obviously if you're below a certain age, it won't make it. It's not my date of birth, but there we go. Next. We take some information down. I'm taking you through the whole process as though I'm doing the pitch deck, so don't worry, stay here. And we're here in the UK. So when you guys test it, you're gonna have the ability to give me your feedback, to see what you don't like, who referred you. You can go in here and actually find the person that referred you. So look, so say for argument's sake, JUnity referred me, yeah. And we can go over here. My occupation is I'm a software dev, and my skills and interests, I'm interested in, health, and I'm interested in, I don't know, reading. And what inspired me is Alan told me I could change the narrative. Yeah. Okay. And if we want, we can put a picture in straight away to represent ourselves. So we're going to go find a picture. I'm just showing you that the website is something to be proud of. It's comprehensive. It's got everything that we spoke about. We built our own. I'm just going to go and find a picture of just one of my dogs over here. Click open. Okay. We've got a file size issue. Let's see. Maybe there's something we've got to adjust. Let's go and pick something else. Let's put my little boy. We're going to crop him over here when he was younger. Just click save. His picture's in there. Then we want to continue. We can agree to terms, agree to understand the disclaimers. We want to keep us updated. We can review our information if we want. We're going to complete our setup. Empower. It says, let's personalize your experience. Before we get you started, let's create your personalized environment by completing your empowerment engine. This takes about 2 to 3 minutes and ensures your dashboard is tailored to your goals. So this is the empowerment plan straight away. So as soon as you come in, one of your, can come in and say, look, they're not interested in trading, your people, but they are interested in AI, and they're interested in finance, and they're interested in estate planning. Okay. They click continue. And then it generates asking some questions. So what is your monthly take home? This is for your finance and investments. So let's say I take home over 10K. Let's go in here. How much do you currently have in savings? I currently have, over 50K in savings. Yeah. Let's go next. Do you currently invest any money? I'm just getting started. What is your primary financial goals to become debt free? And then it asks you the AI questions. What's your current experience with AI tools? I've tried them a few times. What AI skills do you most want to develop? AI workflows. How do you want AI to help you to boost my creativity or grow my business faster? Then it wants to ask you some estate planning questions. Do you have financial dependents, children, and a partner? Let's go. Do you have a will? No. Do you have life insurance? No. And then here we've seen that this is come up with a plan for us. Okay, so you can see a plan here to build your financial foundations. You want to do these things, boom, 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 in steps. Yeah, you want to do your AI productivity. You want to do these things, boom, 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 boom. It says learn 10 essential prompting techniques. Get Claude Pro for boom, boom, boom. Create a library of useful prompts, blah blah blah, for your estate planning. Now, as soon as you want to go in here and get started, if you want to go to go. It will basically say, first finish the empowerment section to unlock your full plans and go to your dashboard. Okay. Now, once we get in, here we go. We're in. You can see here's my son in here in the platform. Now we're getting a whole host of information and functionality. So you've just started. So you're labeled as someone who's money curious. It says, good morning, Richard. We've got motivational quotes that are on rotation here. The only impossible journey is the one you never begin. We can minimize our side panel, make this bigger. We have full control over our dashboard, whereby if we don't like the look of this dashboard, we can move everything around. I prefer to put this over here. I prefer this was a bit smaller. I prefer to move over. This is our stats little grid here. Gold. Let's have a quick glimpse at gold. Yep, just taking liquidity. I'd keep an eye on gold right now. It's just taking the liquidity that we thought it was going to take because that's where the price was. I'd keep an eye on it. Let's get back over here. We can move this around. If we want to move this over here, we want our earnings over here, and we want our thing. We can move this whole panel. We don't want it over here. We want to make it smaller. We want our screen, and it saves like that. We can save our layout of however we want it. We want it bigger. In fact, we want a much bigger screen here. As we can see, this is live right now. If I click watch here, you will be able to see me through my Zoom. But ultimately, obviously, so therefore, no longer we're going to Zoom. You will just be in the platform. If you don't want to listen to me because you're not interested, you can listen and watch whatever you want to watch. You don't have to be here. Yeah. You can come in here at any time. This logs all your recent activity. As I said down here, I've just moved this. So you can see this is your panel. In your panel, you've got an empowerment score. You've got total earnings. You've got how many people, how many areas that you chose in your empowerment areas, which was AI, estate plan and stuff else, and how many referrals you make and your total earnings, because you can earn money. All right. We've got all the upcoming sessions here. This is currently tied to a private It's currently tied to my private thing, which will change. So it's only showing relevant sessions. That is straight away for Zoom, so you can schedule them in. You've got your empowerment areas. So here, so if you see here, this is showing all areas, and this is just like a widget showing that you've got your estate planning and whatnot. And when you're using this, you have the ability to start these initiatives and to whether or not they're going to be in progress or they're going to be completed. You're able to adjust those. We've got all the events that are coming from not just Unity Trading, but from all the other people or all the businesses that are on Unity. We've got our featured, and like I said, all of this can be customized. If you want this to be over here, you want it to be here. If you don't like the setup because you just messed up your whole screen, you can just come in here and you can refresh your layout. Yeah, and as you see, once I reset my layout over here, everything should get, it's a bug. It's no longer, oh, here we go. Yeah, refreshing. Yeah, everything goes back to how it was. So just in case you made any mistakes. This is not running from the live server at the moment, so that's why it's moving a bit slow. Now, let's go into it. So your empowerment plan. Yeah, that was just the dashboard. That gives you some customization. This empowerment plan here, and it won't be this slow, guys. It's only slow because I've got so many things running. This is running locally. You can see here right now that we've seen another little bug. Here's another little bug here. Let's come out of this. Oh, I know why. Because we've done it all locally. We haven't done it on, so when I say locally, I mean it's not hosted at the moment. So we're having some little bugs. Should we go to the actual platform? Let's go to the actual one. Because it is up in a development area. So let's just go there. I'll log in as somebody else. So everything should be a bit more snappy. So we can see over here, if I go to our empowerment area, this person has got nutrition and estate planning. And like I said to you, it's very, very important that you can go in here and go through the processes. Say, for example, your nutrition, prepare healthy meals. When you click here, you'll get access to those healthy meals or that service provider that creates healthy meals for you or whatever it may be. And you'll be able to go in here and say it's in progress. Yeah. Or you'll be able to go in here and say that it's done. As and when it's done, you get notified for that. You get points, it will go through here and go through all of the different steps. So the empowerment plan is very, very powerful. It might just be trading. You might have just been interested in trading. So for example, if I was to edit these areas or let's just go here and I was to just put in trading, you'll be able to save that and you've just got your trading. This will have over 10, 15 different steps for you to make sure you've done. So that might be a course, that might be watching a video, that might be going to something, that might be opening a broker's account, that might be opening a demo account, whatever it may be, to make sure that you are empowered in your particular areas of interest. So I'm going to leave this one here. I'm going to add for now estate planning also here. Now have a look. You also get a my profile page. So your profile page, as you can see here, is your public page. So you have a unitytbf.com/Alan. Yeah, that'll be your own page that exists in the world. You have the ability to, there's some updates missing from here, which I'll try and show you. There's some updates missing from here, but you can see your focus areas. You can see your why. You're able to update all of these things. If you go over here, your basic info, you can actually change your username, but you can only do it once every 28 days. Okay. You've got a slogan. My slogan is get rich or die trying, and my city and my gender and my bio. I can put some information about myself, my social links, Twitter, Insta, whatever my focus tags. I'm currently focused on career, trading, mental health, blah, blah, blah. I've already got personal goal growth, productivity. I can add them in there. I can save these changes, become part of my profile. Okay. I've got my why. So when I'm in here, my why, you can see here, my why is my kids, my family, and fulfilling my potential. My core values are balance and focus and growth and blah, blah, blah. My non-negotiables I can put in here. All right. I can put some information about my about if I want to get deeper, and even have my favorite book and my favorite author in here, as well as my progression snapshot of what I've achieved. Yeah, of my milestones, etc., and my credibility and proof, all my certificates and stuff go in here. So you earn certificates in Unity platform for doing certain things. Yeah. And obviously you can add images, and with your images, you can crop and add tags and add information to also. And then you've got a public page. So when you click here, view public, this is a public page, yeah, which anybody has the ability. This is an old one, it hasn't been updated. The new one looks like this. All right. And ultimately you can see that in the new, let's see if we can go to the view public page. Yeah, this person hasn't got any information in here, Richard. All right, because you could see in here, you get the views, you got your likes, your friends, and your followers here. Let's go back to the other page because we've got more information to work off. And obviously, we've got light theme, dark theme as well throughout the website. Now you can follow. People can either follow you, because they just want to follow what you're doing, so they get notifications when you do some stuff, and they can request to become a friend. You know, when they request to become a friend, they show you the capabilities that happen in our site. Is that, you know, you can chat, we'll get to chat, you can talk to them. So there's no longer, we don't have to WhatsApp each other no more. Yeah, we can chat directly for our own, let's go and show it here. We've got our own interface here, you know, just like a WhatsApp in here. This person hasn't got any friends at the moment. And in here, we can chat and have conversations just exactly like WhatsApp. We can send memes, we can send whatever it may be. We also have our own discussions board. So Al, when you want to go and talk and you got something to say, you want to have get a real discussion going, we can create our own discussion in here. So Al can come in here and say, you know, is gold going to zero? Yeah. Now this will actually become a public page. So it's going to zero. You know, tell me your thoughts on the shiny, I spell that right. I'm going to spell shiny metal. All right. Whatever. Yeah, I'm spelling mistakes, but whatever. You can add some tags in here. You know, tags are going to be trading. Tags are going to be gold. Yeah. And you can click post. I'll select a category. It's going to be in trading category. You can click post. And you can see here, this is gold going to zero. It's going to be by Alan, and people can come in here and comment with. And this is actually a public page. So therefore, this will be found by Google. Okay. But as and when people try and click that public page, they'll obviously be forced to register, etc. And we can have big discussions in there, just like a Reddit. Yeah, we've got obviously community rules. You know, we can see all this information in here. We can see what's trending. We can see who's posting, top contributors, etc. Yeah, we also have, Alan, something that'd be great, you know, you can be able to see here is we have education. Yeah. So in here, say, for example, based upon your focus areas, and you click trading as one of your focus areas, there is education in here. Yeah. So trading, you get beginners, intermediate, advanced. So it's a kind of entry level amount of education, not millions and millions of pages, because ultimately there's service providers that provide that education, like Unity Trading. Okay, and you can see here, first thing, you know, trading and investing are different games. If you want to, you can just have it, you know.
First things first, trading and investing are
You
different.
can have a better voice there. You know, you can have it reading it all out to you, getting all your education, yeah, to be able to learn certain things. Reality check, 70 to 90% of retail traders lose money, blah, 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 all your information. But after you've done your education, whether it's beginner, whether it's intermediate education, whether it's advanced, and you can do education that's in your estate planning as well, or whatever it is your areas that you've chosen, then you can also take exams. Yeah. So right here, if we go to trading, a man like yourself, you'll be in here, you'll be in advanced, or maybe, and these exams are not something whereby they will generate the same questions. AI generates you new questions every time, tailored to you, based upon your criteria, based upon what you want to do, based upon, you know, what you're trying to achieve and your level of, you know, how advanced you are. So ultimately, Al, you'll be able to come in here, and I'm talking to Al. I know you guys have seen this 10 times, but I'm going again. Yeah.
I'm listening, bro. I'm listening. I'm taking it all in.
Yeah. You'll be able to come in here and you will have an exam. So with your exams, and I like to ask the question because I want to get to the point where you pass. This is every single time. So you can sit in here all day long and have users on here all day long, in whichever area that they're interested in. Yeah. But this is trading. It's got given us a 15-minute timer. And, you know, here, and we can get in here, and if you want, you could just listen, you know, because you want.
What does a candlestick chart represent? The options are A, price movement over time, B, volume of trades, C, market capitalization.
Let's go. Give me some letters, Al. Let's see if you can pass. Let's go. There's only 10 questions. What does a candlestick chart represent? Price move over time, volume of trades, market capitalization, economic indicators? What do you think?
Candlestick chart represents price movement over time.
Let's go. Let's click A. Let's go to our next question. What does the open price indicate in a candlestick? Give me A, B, C, or D.
What does the open price indicate in the candlestick? Price which a stock closes, price which stock opens for trading, the highest price during the trading, lowest price at which the stock opens for trading.
I think so as well. What does a bullish candlestick indicate? Let's go A, B, C, or D.
A, price increase during period.
What does the body of a candlestick represent?
It's either A or B. I say the open price, the range between high and low prices. The range difference between open and closed price. Yeah, B. Difference between open and closed prices.
I think I'll go with that as well. What does a long upper shadow on a candlestick indicate?
Long upper shadow on a candlestick indicate.
It's quite difficult for beginners.
Yeah. What does a long upper shadow indicate? Upper shadow on a candlestick. Long.
I know. Anybody else got a suggestion?
I believe long upper shadow is strong selling pressure. I think
I'll go with that one as well, to be fair. What does the low price indicate in a candlestick?
What does a low price indicate? Low price during period, price at which,
as in the high and low,
the highest price, closing price. What does the low price indicate in the candlestick? Price during trading period, price at which stock opens for trading. B.
I think I'll go with A, but if you're going to go with B, let's go.
Yeah, I'll go with B. All
right, we'll go next.
You might be right, man.
In chart reading, what does support refer to? A price level where buyer interest is strong, a price level where selling interest is strong, the highest price reached, the average price over time. I'm going to go with A.
Okay, support is A. Definitely. Yeah. Strong where interest is demand, isn't it?
What is a trend line in chart reading?
A trend line in a chart is a line that shows the average price. Connecting high and lows, a line indicates trade volume, and a line that marks daily. I say a line that indicates trade volume.
This one's quite.
Next. Which is good. It gets you to think, Jay.
I'm 100%. Yeah. That's gold. Having a reaction. Let's go back over here to our questions. We've got one more quick question there. What does the
moving average help traders identify? Moving average, the average price over a specific period.
I'll probably go with that one as well. What does a bearish candlestick indicate?
Price decrease in period. Decrease.
All right. So that would have been Alan. Just anytime he wants to, on the train, on the bus, wherever, maybe at home, going through his exams, he can submit your exams.
Yeah.
Congratulations. We've got a B. All right. We got 8 out of 10 correct answers.
Yeah.
No speed bonus because we took 4 minutes to do this.
Yeah.
You can have this. We'll tell you about yourself. So this person who's logged in is Aston. That's the name of the.
Great job, Aston. You've passed chart reading basics. With
you know what? You know I'm on
getting 8 out of 10.
Come on! I know you're going to be trying to get it.
Great job, Aston.
And the thing is, you can keep doing it. It's never going to be the same question.
A solid B grade.
Yeah.
Yeah,
getting
brilliant.
8 out of 10 correct.
I like that. It gets you thinking.
It shows your accuracy. It shows your time per question, total time, your pass rate, and then from here, because you've passed, you can view your certificate here. So this is an actual certificate that you can take, print out. You've got a certificate identity, so we know it's authentic. You can print it, put it on your wall, etc. Obviously, we'll brand this a little bit better at the moment. And then afterwards, if you wanted to, you can have a show you your answers, see which ones we got wrong. All right, we had 2 incorrect. Let's see which ones we got wrong. What does the low price?
Yeah, you're right, Jay. Price.
That one there, and we must have got another one wrong as well. What is a trend line? A line connecting high or low prices.
High, low price.
Maybe that one's a bit, but either way, those are the ones we got wrong. But you're able to see all your wrong answers, which is fantastic. Yeah, and you're able to go on to the next module if you wanted to, which will take you. Look here, it says getting ready. Introduction to markets, 10 questions again. You can go through your next module, and as you do these, you will get achievements that are stored in your, in your database, and allows you to increase your own stance to become, there's different levels. You might become an empowered king or an empowered queen as you go up as in within this particular area. Now, also what we've got in here, let's exit this for now. This is going to change. So we've got our own pop-ups. We've got our own calculators out. Every single calculator you can think of, we will have. You can come in here and you can go. So you forget about cashback Forex. You will be here getting your lot size calculator from our own Unity lot size calculator, risk to reward calculators. You can get mental health calculators. There's a stress score calculator. You can get fitness calculators when they work out your BMI, your body fat, nutrition calculators, your calorie calculators, macro calculators, estate planning calculators, inheritance tax calculator. We're just talking about this. Net worth calculator. Every single calculator you can imagine, we will have. There will be external calculators that you could be able to find, just like cashback Forex. But obviously, when somebody's not logged in and they start clicking for certain things, their results, it's going to push them back to register in the platform. Yeah. But if you're logged in, you're going to get access to all of these calculators in any area that you can think of. Yeah. At the moment, there's 28 of calculators here. 25 are available. There's 10 categories. There's 3 this month. Yeah, it's going to be very, very powerful. The calculators bringing us a lot of new registrations and giving us value when you guys are sitting there asking yourself something. Just go and do the calculator yourself. Click it. Go to the calculator. Work out yourself. That's going to be internal. We've also got our own AI app. Yeah, so forget about ChatGPT. Yeah, GPT. You don't need to do that no more. You've got your own AI here that you can ask this AI anything you want to ask it. Yeah. So if we turn around and said, should I trade, futures or Forex? Yeah. In fact, let me clear the chat first. Let's clear the chat. Yeah. Question mark. You can talk to this as well. You don't have to type it in. You can press the button to speak into it, and you ask the AI, because this is our own Unity AI assistant within our platform. And what I'm going to make it do is have shorter responses. As you can see here, it's giving us a whole breakdown, and we can listen to this response. But it says choosing between trading futures and Forex depends on your trading style. It's giving you information related to. So ultimately, this is our own Unity.
Choosing between trading futures and Forex depends on your trading style, risk tolerance, and overall goals. Futures trading typically involves commodities.
We can go through here. We've got some pre-questions as well. If you just want to, quickly hear tips for better productivity, straight away you can just hit that button and it can give you some information based upon what you're asking, etc. Yeah, I'm going to make it give shorter responses. Have a look at the members. Yeah, so we'll be in here and you'll be able to see all of our members. Yeah, so we've just got some dummy data in here at the moment. You can filter this or you can change this to how you want to see it. If you want to see the cards like this, you just want to see the people. You can filter to see who's just online now. Yeah, you can see people that maybe you just want to talk to people that are interested in what you're interested in. So maybe just people in trading you only want to see. Yeah, there's no one only in trading. Maybe you want to see people that are, in other areas also. Who knows what the other areas are? Let's clear these filters here. This is all dummy data at the moment. But ultimately, from here, you can go and view these people's pages, yeah, and decide whether or not you would like to follow them, yeah, or whether you'd like to become a friend with them, yeah. And, obviously, so say, for example, we'd all be friends. We'd all be, even in our chats, the chat that we have here, we have the ability to create a group. So it'd be me, you, Jason, Darren would have our own group that we can chat on, just like WhatsApp, yeah. So just like WhatsApp in here, we have the ability to create our own group, and we're going to call it the Boilers, crew, yeah. And we can go in here and we can search our members and go and find who we're going to add to that group and create the group, etc. And we click create. I don't know if this page is fully functional yet. When it comes to, as soon as you come into the platform, if we went through the other way, you'd be taken through this wizard. So if we went through the other one that we was using, but when we register, it takes you through a wizard. That straight away you'll see obviously a marketing video just telling you about the platform at the moment. It's that we've had in here. Okay, then you'll go through and be able to get our WhatsApp details, if you're a QR code, etc. Be able to come in here, get all of our socials to be able to follow, be able to come in here, get our discount code, yeah, be able to come in here to be able to straight away, yeah, you want to buy yourself a jumper or a cap or whatever else is going on, a mug, a bag, you can go in there straight away, go straight to our platform, and then afterwards, you'll be taken into the platform. That you may miss that because we logged into an existing person who's got an account. What have I missed? Obviously, we've got here in regards to Unity TV, so you don't need to watch what's going on in that small little screen. We've got the whole screen here. Obviously, this is showing a live session because I'm live right now. So like I said, if I click this right now, watch here. My camera's not in, but in here we'll be able to, it's going to change, so your name would already be in here. But if I say that I'm in here straight away, you will get to here. Alan's just coming to here. And at this point in time, we'll be able to, this Zoom that we're currently on right now will not be through, I don't want to put it here because it's going to make a perpetual loop and it might start making some funny sounds. But here you can see the market. That's our live session. Yeah, so no need to worry with Zoom anymore. We built our own. You get what I'm saying? We built our own Zoom, we built our own AI, we built our own discussions board, we built our own chat. No need to WhatsApp the community. We can do it all within the Unity platform. We've got a resources page. So with the resources page, I was going to be all different resources. So some might be PDFs, some may be images. So say for argument's sake here, we wanted to say just look for some trading resources. Well, here we can see that we've got 2 resources and we've got an image in here that we can preview. Okay, this is a trading preview, a picture, great. We've got a PDF in here that we can say this might be crypto Bible or whatever it may be, candlestick Bible, or maybe we want to, AI mastery, we're looking for something. Okay, we can see there's a preview. Maybe we just want to see videos. We want to look in all areas, what videos exist. Okay, there's an estate planning video in here. We can come in here and we can watch our estate planning preview video. This is just like a resource area for everyone in Unity that you have access to it. And it will be limited based upon your empowerment areas. Okay. So we can go in here and get access to resources. So there'll be all different things, and you can see them different ways. You can list them. You can, see them in a grid view. Again, like I said, you've got full control over how you want to see things and how you want to interact with the platform. So that's in our resources. We've also got opportunities. So the opportunities are from other businesses that register with our platform through Unity 2B3 Pro. And they're offering services, because ultimately Unity Trading is just one business on the Unity 2B3 platform. It's an official business because we're connected to you, just like Netflix have Netflix officials. Unity Trading is an official Unity 2B3 partner, but there will be many other people that provide different services. As you can see here, this is Trading Masters, who have paid for a feature to take over the whole page, but you can see lots of other different companies in different areas that you can go and say, okay, let's see what companies. Okay, there's Home Workout Hero as a company, and what do they provide? They provide a subscription service, and who are they? When you click there, you'll be able to see they hit their Unity page within our network. They have their own Unity page within our network that you can go and subscribe to their course or their teachings or their live sessions or whatever it may be. All right, and you'll be able to see all of your progress as well. As a user out, you can see all of your progress in here. How many days you've been logged in for, your time you've been invested in the platform, what type of membership you have, all of your stats, weekly, yearly, your performance you can review, how many tasks you've done in the different areas, your focus areas completion, all of your achievements. You've got, did you get your on fire achievement? Have you got your committed achievement, which is 30 days logged in straight? You'll be able to see all of your stats, every single thing here, what's going on, plus more is going to be added to this. What have I missed? Obviously, your account settings, your account settings allows you to control your account in regards to your personal information, the security you have, password, change your password. You're going to have 2-factor authentication. You've got your subscription of what you are. This person's just on a free plan. You have any payments that's been made to you, because you can earn money. So what happens is this this is what I was going to say. Here is how your recommendation. This is a really powerful page here, Al. Yeah, I hope you're still with me. In regards to this.
I'm still here.
So here's a powerful page. This is how it works. Is essentially you're able to choose your services that you're going to recommend. You share it to your profile, and then when you bump into your brethren on the roadside, you say to them, go to unity2b3.com/Alan. And you'll be able to see the insurance company I dealt with there, or an insurance company I recommend there, or an estate planning company I recommend there, or a trading company I recommend there. When he goes to your platform and finds that recommendation, which I'll show you in a minute, any if money that he spends as an affiliate, you will get a kickback. So let's imagine, for argument's sake, a certain amount of money is generated by every referral lead that you send to an insurance company. You will get a percentage of that. Now, when you come here, you can choose to get you started. Obviously, you've got no recommendations. You can either take one of our quick templates, which is going to be TB3 Essentials, for example. That TB3 Essentials template shows you what, it's 4 services, potentially £250 if every single one of those services taken. And it's one of our most popular. And that will put those 4 services as your referrals on your page. Yeah. Ultimately, so you can see the details of that service. The details of it is you're going to get £100 per successful referral. The payout time is 30 days. The minimum purchase is this. It's just giving you the information. You can either say, okay, yeah, that sounds good, or you can remove them. Or alternatively, look, you can actually do it personally. So you can go and find them yourselves, or things that you've added from the resource, from the opportunity section. Or you can even make AI make a suggestion to you, to suggest to you what services you should have on your page based upon the fact that you like your areas are AI and estate planning and whatever it may be. And it will say that, and it will add these suggestions, and these will be all sitting on your page. Yeah. So therefore, now when somebody goes to your page, which you can see here, if I click here, this is my public page. Under recommendations, this hasn't got no information here, so it's a bit blank, but under recommendations, you'll be able to see all of their recommendations. So when you've spoken to somebody, you say, go to my page, click recommendations, under finance, that you should go for that company. When they click this and go for that company's services, you will make a referral fee that you will obviously be able to see as your referrals, in here, the amount of money that you've generated from your total referrals. And you can draw that down at any time. Yeah. And ultimately, this will in the future, this will be paid out in our own coin, in Unity coin. At the moment, it's going to be paid out in sterling. In the future, it's going to be paid out in our own crypto coin. Yeah, that you can obviously redeem for sterling, but that allows us to have our own coin and gain liquidity from people investing in our coin. And I think that's about it. Also, we've got events. We've missed out on events. So all events, just like your Eventbrite, any company that's within our network that's got an event going can list their event. You're able to go and say, okay, look, what events are happening when. You can add them you can see them in a calculator. You can add them to your Google Calendar. When you want to view the details of it, you can say, okay, there's mastering technical analysis. Let's see some details. You're going to learn this about it. It's going to learn there. It's online. Sarah's the host. Boom, boom, boom. You can register now for it. So it goes into your calendar and whatever it may be. Or you can share this event with friends and family. Yeah. And obviously you'll be able to see that in calendar view, list view of everything that's coming up in the future. There's something on the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th. So now you know when to come back into Uni for specific events. You'll be able to see all the other people who's registered to it. So JP's registered for this event, Jason has, etc. Blah, blah, blah. And, you've got the ability to do that, or to look at different categories. If you just want to see events in mental health, it will show you just events in mental health, or events in nutrition. It'll show you just those events, etc., etc. See, it's just showing me that on the 22nd of February, within the Unity platform, there's a meal prep for business professionals event at 6:00 online Zoom. Yeah, be able to see that, especially if they're physical events. And apart from that, now, help and support. Yeah, we've got a whole help and support section. Yeah, you can ask this anything you want. You want to know about how do I get started with Unity? It shows you that, shows you the empowerment plan. What are the 10 empowerment areas? You can actually ask AI anything specific about certain things. You can ask questions about your account. You can ask technical issues about certain things. You can open an actual ticket. If you've got an issue, you want to actually create an actual ticket about, a technical issue. There's something going on with your site. You can put all those questions and information in there, send it over to the technical team for them to answer. Yeah. You want to cancel your subscription, and gives you information about how you can go about doing that. You want to reset your password. It tells you about how to go and do that. Everything you need to know. If you don't like the dark theme, you want it to be a lot lighter theme, you can have the whole website being a complete light theme. Yeah. To give you, whatever you want to do. Yeah, man, you got our notifications here. You get all your notifications come up in here. So if somebody added you or wanted to follow you, they've heard about Alan, they want to follow you first. So people that follow you, that's fine. You can have as many people following you, but they're not your friends, so they can't message you. Yeah, so they've got to make a request to be your friend to message you. So you can't just get unwanted messages, yeah, from anybody. Yeah, they've got a request to be your friend. As soon as you make a friendship, then you both can message each other, but you might have 1 million people following. Yeah, so you get all your notifications if there's any alerts, security alerts. We've got some quick settings here just to show you some, this is wrong. This will be just will change. We've got some quick settings in here. I like the dark theme personally, stay like this. And as you get more and more empowerment points, you will see your tag change from money curious to whatever it may be, blah, 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 blah. And yeah, that is it, you know, and at the end of the day, you know, it's not only this side of things, which I was showing the guys the other day, is that when I've been telling you for so long, I've been building this, is obviously you can see the levels, hopefully you can see what man are doing out here, yeah? But on top of that is that there is a whole business platform for the businesses coming in who, you know, those businesses essentially will be able to, will be able to register as a business, which is quite comprehensive for them to be able to register as a business. So if I was to go in here to register for a business, they come into Unity Pro, as you can see here, to say that they are, you know, registering as a business. They go for a whole process. Are they a coach? Are they a consultant? Are they a service provider? If they are offering services to the youth, you know, it goes through the whole CRB, and whether they're registered, takes all their details and information. Ultimately, they have their own platform as a business, whereby in that platform as a business, they're able to monitor and their views, how many people have registered for events, how many people have messaged them, how many leads they've generated. So that's in Unity Pro, so an area that you won't ever see unless you've got a service, you know, to offer, and you register as a business. But I'm saying to you, the platform, which is Unity TB free platform, is comprehensive, does everything it needs to do. We're going to have public pages as well, which is very, very important for us, because as soon as we launch, we will be all over the internet, all over our internet for our discussions, yeah, all over our internet for the events that have been putting out as a public page, all over our internet for every single person's profile page. And I remember before, Alan, you were saying that, you know, maybe you didn't want yourself out then doing certain things. You can hide your whole profile, or you can decide to hide areas of your profile that you don't want to be public. Maybe you put some personal things in here, you know, about us. You can hide that public, that about us section. You can have every section, including your entire profile, to hide your entire profile. Have a look here. For example, we can change these settings. You want to hear, let's change the background to ocean wave, or upload something that you want. Boom, we've changed our background. In our pictures, we've even got some preset pictures that we can save. You don't have to keep uploading new pictures here. You can change your pictures. Everything, bro. Everything. Yeah.
It looks really, really impressive. I remember you talking about this a number of years ago, and I know it's taken a bit of time to get off the ground, but it looks very comprehensive. As I said, it looks really impressive. I like the education. I think that's really important, even for people who have trading knowledge. It keeps you on your toes. Yeah, listen, just let me know when.
Yeah. By next week, I'm going to have you guys all testing it. I just wanted to give you the overview just to let you know that definitely we've been working. Like we've been working. And when we launch it, it's going to be a great way for us to not only generate our own income from our referrals, but for anybody, people that are not interested in trading, they're supposed to be here and getting them empowered in whatever areas they are interested in. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Very comprehensive. There's something for everybody here. But the most important, I said, as I reiterate, is the education, you know, 100%. The financial education and education in general. I think, you know, from the villagers' point of view, we need that people to be educated on things financially, things on health, you know, business and so on and so forth, because there's a lot of people who, you know, very clouded minds out here who need to get some direction. So no, really good, really impressive. Let me know when you're
100%. I'm happy that I've taken you, walked you through it, because you're somebody who you're going to be a big feature on this site, in my opinion, because ultimately your tag which you can see here, you know, all of you guys for a start will have the most empowerment points across the site, more than likely. And, you know, this person here, you know, I'm property curious because I'm interested in property at the moment, etc. But your tag, you guys would have massive points. And therefore, ultimately, what will start happening is when people are searching members, you know, you'll be straight away standing out. It's just like, you know, I don't know, Instagram has people that has lots of followers, you know, people, you'll be standing out as an authority in your areas based upon, you know, your expertise, etc. You know, you also will be able to get a feature. I'd love to get a regular fundamentals feature. You know, I'd love for you to have your own little fundamentals course that sits on here as well. Do you understand what I'm saying? That earns you revenue, etc., etc. So it's going to be a very, very good look.
Definitely. We'll definitely work on that because I remember you talking about that for a while. So yeah, we'll sort that out. Not a problem.
Love and blessings, guys. I just wanted to make sure I took you through that and let you know that we are working. The rest of them have seen it already because I ain't stopped yapping about it.
Yeah, listen, yeah. I saw something and I've seen obviously the demo site, and that looked really impressive. But the
demo site was like an interim that I just put something in on the interim whilst we was doing this. Yeah. But this is the actual platform, and like I said, you're gonna see very quickly once we launch this how quickly we're gonna grow. New members coming in every day. New members coming in every day.
It's impressive. Yeah,
it's going to be sick.
People are visual, Jay. You know that. People are visual. They want to see. And from what you've shown me here, people will join because they're curious. But then when they see what's on the platform, when they see stuff they can learn various different things. Yeah, they'll get their friends and their family. And yeah. Listen, excellent. Love it.
Yeah, welcome. I'm proud of it, and it's going to be a very, very good look for all of us. But guys, let me just go and keep it stepping. I do have a meeting at 11, and I'm going to not play anything on live room. I'm just going to wish you love and blessings, and we'll see what happens.
Enjoy your day. Please be careful today. Market's going to be volatile.
Love, family.
Love, Darren, Jay, Jigs, everybody. Love and blessings. Yeah.